The church has a problem right now. Back 4 days ago when I was vindicated, things were good in terms of the way they should have gone out. I was vindicated for a reason, because we all make mistakes, and if the test happens and I prevail, I'm allowed. And this is what occurred, and as a result I got a 97% millennial reign of Christ. It was prophesied perfectly after. It was in a dream. A separate dream after I prevailed. Here's the problem. It was then stolen away. Communication should have happened afterward, so nothing could be stolen. But the church would not. You guys simply refused to ever communicate with me. That's a problem you're going to wish you did. You're going to wish you did with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. The church principality is the problem. It was raised up to thwart my ministry, and the church was always guilty here. I was innocent. Just that right there kind of wins me it. Okay, but there's more. All of you are guilty of individual sins throughout the last 25 years. You were never held to an account there. That's on my side. The fact that I won and God vindicated me, that's a huge victory for me. And the fact that you guys had to win it back through sin and not willing to suffer and put anything on your plate, that's a huge plus for me as well. The negative that I had was I messed up. And so the game was afoot. But because I was vindicated, that gets reversed. So I've done the math, church. I'm sorry. Even today, even right now, with everything getting messed up, I'm still up 100 to 20. You're not going to want to do the math. You're not going to want to accept it. I kind of gave you a picture. But it's basically 100 to 20 right now. The problem is, even though I win this thing on theory and on paper, it's not going to play out like that. I pretty much lost my millennial reign based on my discernment right now. I'm not willing to accept it, and Jesus Christ knows that. I was never going to accept losing my millennial reign. So I will fall away from the faith over this. Here's the problem. You're going down with me because you're more guilty than I am, and you can't endure it. So I do pray that God works. I do pray that God vindicates the situation. The easiest thing in the world after God vindicated me winning would have been for the church to suffer for righteousness. That would have been the easiest, and had you communicated with me, I would have explained it perfectly. But once again, this church, mostly because of the church principality, you were not willing to communicate with me. You simply weren't willing to do the right thing, but that's actually you. The church principality I'm blameless in. You guys are guilty. And that's worse than anything I did, as far as I'm concerned. Not to mention the fact I was vindicated. Starting to see it? So the game that you continued to play with me ever since the beginning, no communication, just games, has caught up to you. And it's going to be medieval now. It's so depressing, there's no more life. You just should have let me win, folks. You just should have allowed it. You just should have allowed it. You guys have too many strikes on your account that have never been called up. Your strikes have never been called up. Church principality, you never communicating with me, you empowering evil men in the church to destroy me, the playing of the game, and then even when I win, I can't win. This is all evil on your account. Has nothing to do with me. You're going to give an account for it now, since I lost my soul. And it's going to be a perfect account. Like I said, right now it's 100 to 20. Right after I won, I was at a 97% based on the prophecy. You guys, probably between 15, 20, and 80 at the most. But had you suffered for righteousness at that time, you could have made it to 95%, 96%. You easily could have. I'm not going to say you would have overtaken me. Okay, maybe. I doubt it. In fact, I feel led to tell you no. You weren't going to overtake me. But you guys could have all become 90s, 95s. As long as you suffer for righteousness and you obeyed him, you could have yielded. But you weren't willing. A lot of the church is not guilty of not communicating with me, even the church principality. The problem is you supported those, and it's going to fall down on you anyway. Not the whole measure, but that measure is going to be tough for you. It's going to be tough because the church principality and the non-communication led to a lot of problems. And that's the people you confided in, the ministers, the church, and it's a problem. And I tried to warn you guys, you need to communicate on YouTube in 2011. You need to hash this out. We need to start doing the work. You aren't willing. So at the end of the day, this is what's going down, and it's not good. If it can be fixed, that's the best. But if it can't be fixed, I'm not going down for this church after being the most righteous. I'm sorry, it's never going to happen. It's not. If you understand how I win this on paper, even in theory, even in reality, you're not even going to want to know. You just should have allowed God to vindicate me, which he did. I even got a mini vision about 30 hours before my final test, the one that I passed. And believe me, God wanted to save souls. He wanted to save all of you. Now, what do you think is going to happen? And it was Wayne that God really wanted to save. Ironic, huh? Crazy, huh? That was the one. God's like, I want to save Wayne. So you guys know. You guys know how it went down. Okay? You guys blew it. You absolutely blew it. I pray all of us can get saved, including Wayne. So shore it up. Do your job. Admit it. Just admit you blew it. You screwed up. You should have communicated after I won. And it would have been fixed. You would have gotten this video at that time. You would have known. I've had this revelation for years. You would have known. You would have known, you would have known, you would have known. And it would have been done. So if you could fix it, fix it.